and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
We have shown that the two-horned beast of Revelation 13 is a typology for our United States. Verse 11 states that the beast professes innocence with its lamb-like horns, but it speaks as a dragon. Note, a nation speaks through its legislative and judicial authorities, through its laws and governance. By speaking like a dragon and exercising all the power of the first beast, the papacy, prophecy foretells that in these United States, there will be a spirit of intolerance and persecution as was manifested by papal Rome. Verse 14. The two-horned beast, these United States, has power to give life to the beast. It shall say to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast. The global influence of this beast power is highlighted. In verse 12, it causes global worship of the beast. And in verse 14, it causes the earth to make an image to the beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Such action would be directly contrary to the principles of this government, to the direct and solemn avowals of the Declaration of Independence, and to the Constitution. Our Constitution, the First Amendment, states that, and I quote, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. The founders of the nation wisely sought to guard against the employment of secular power on the part of the Church, and its inevitable result, intolerance and persecution. Verses 12 and 14 state succinctly that the First Amendment will be made null and void. Our nation will cause global worship of the beast. It will enforce some observance which shall be an act of homage to, as verse 14 says, the beast whose deadly wound was healed. Recall, Napoleon imprisoned Pius VI in 1798, and for a time, Rome did not have a pope. The papacy's deadly wound was healed when Napoleon allowed a new pope, Pius VII, to be enshrined in 1801. Prophecy states that the United States shall cause global worship of, and make an image to this papal beast, the one whose deadly wound was healed. Make an image to the beast. The image of the beast is not being formed overnight. Protestant America, especially the religious right, has long had the ear of politicians. It has championed events like the National Prayer Breakfast, which has been attended by every sitting president since its inception in 1953. In 1948, it has founded the World Council of Churches, to work for the cause of Christian interchurch ecumenism. The World Council of Churches and events like the National Prayer Breakfast purpose to exercise a complete religious monopoly throughout the entire country. And although there is an ecumenical thrust between American Protestantism and the papacy, it is Protestantism that extends its hand across the gulf towards the papacy. We can determine what an image of the papacy will be, by considering what constituted the papacy itself in its days of power. As brought to view in the prophecy, it may be defined as an ecclesiastical hierarchy. And note this quote in the New York Catechism. The Pope takes the place of Jesus Christ on earth. By divine right the Pope has supreme and full power in faith, in morals over each and every pastor and his flock. He is the true vicar, the head of the entire church, the father and teacher of all Christians. An image to the beast may be defined as exercising the self-assumed prerogative of defining heresy, and having the control of the government to punish heretics. An image to the beast would be an ecclesiastical organization, having control of the civil power to carry out its own decisions and purposes. This would of course be a union of church and state. In order for these United States to form an image to the beast, the religious power must so control the government, that the authority of the state will also be employed by the church to accomplish her own ends. Verse 15. Our nation, the beast with the lamb-like horns, has power to give life to the beast. He not only causes global legalization and the formation of the image to the beast, but he has power to make those laws stick. Votes matter here. Protestant America is a very large voting bloc. Through the World Council of Churches, it has a global footprint across 120 countries and territories. The Catholic Church, though not a member, sends delegates to its meetings. Ecumenism has been afoot. The World Council of Churches has been working systematically, since 1948, to tear down the wall that separates church and state. Forcing the world to make an image to the beast is an inevitability. Our historical record shows that the National Federation of Protestants has said there should exist, quote, some church responsible for each square mile, end quote. Stateside, we also have the National Prayer Breakfast, which is sponsored by the religious right and has been attended by every sitting president since its inception in 1953. Verse 15 says that our nation, the two-horned beast, will cause the image to the beast to speak. Speech is accomplished by laws. The prophecy is showing us that there will come a time when decades of interfaith communication, decades of speaking into the ears of politicians, will break through. Politicians, for the vast majority thereof, are in politics for self-aggrandizement. The religious power is too large a voting bloc to ignore. They will cave into the demands of Protestant America. Our Constitution will be amended. The First Amendment will be repealed, so that Protestant America can, Revelation 13 verses 14 and 15, cause global worship of the beast, and cause the earth to erect an image to the beast. Dormant or repealed laws that enact dogma and religious tenets will be reactivated. For example, Sunday blue laws, which are on the books of these United States, will be reinforced as prophecy comes to fruition, and the walls between state and the church will be torn down. Let a religious body so organized, let the government legalize such organization, and give it power to enforce its tenets, its dogma, upon people, and we have an image to the papal beast, endowed with life by the beast with the lamb-like horns, to speak and act with power.
On June 26, 2026, President Trump's Religious Liberty Commission released a draft report recommending a reversal of the separation of church and state, instead calling for building bridges between the two. The 224-page report suggests greater religious expression in government and public schools.
Verse 15 takes a deadly turn. Protestant America causes the image to the beast to speak, and that as many as would not worship the image to the beast should be killed. The beast dragon's voice is apparent. Recall, a nation speaks through its laws. When Protestant America breaks down the division between church and state, when it controls the civil power, so that it lets the government pass laws to enforce its dogma, persecution and intolerance become inevitable. Note, our historical record hosts instances of religious intolerance. For example, a precursor to the World Council of Churches is the National Federation of Churches. The historical record shows that in 1908, a committee was appointed to bring resolutions on Sunday observance. The Seventh-day Baptists sought admission, but would continue to keep the seventh day sacred instead of the first. By vote, the Seventh-day Baptist plea for religious freedom was denied. The avowed purpose of the Federation, officially stated, was to express, quote, the fellowship and Catholic unity of the Christian Church, end quote. Additionally, Methodist Bishop Neely, responding to the Seventh Baptist request, said, we must stand on, quote, the Lord's Day and not weaken what we say. In the council, reference was made to observers of the seventh-day Sabbath as being a class of people to whose attitude the council, the National Federation of Churches, should not give even the semblance of endorsement. In answer to the question, then, Whether anything like an image to the papal beast can be set up in this country, we have before us a gigantic ecclesiastical organization of Protestants, with power to bend the government to its will, intolerant of its own members when the question of Sunday sacredness is concerned. Prophecy foretells that, Revelation 13 verses 14 and 15, refusing to uphold Protestant tenets and dogmas will not be tolerated. Refusal invokes a death sentence. And to show that Sunday sacredness is indeed an image to the papacy, consider the Catholic Record, London, Ontario. Sunday is our mark of authority. The Catholic Church is above the Bible, and this transference of Sabbath observance is proof of that fact. And an additional statement reads as follows. Monsignor Seger, Plain Talk About the Protestantism of Today, page 213. The observance of Sunday by the Protestants is an homage they pay, in spite of themselves, to the authority of the Catholic Church. Sunday sacredness, which Rome proves dates back to its Council of Laodicea in 323 AD, comes into direct conflict with the authority of God, who demands the observance of the seventh day, as detailed in the fourth commandment. It is impossible for anyone to obey them both, for they are intentionally placed in antagonism and opposition. All who refuse to submit to any image that apostate Protestant America erects, in honor of the papacy, will be killed. Laws will be enacted that gives orders, that unless saints yield their peculiar faith and give up the Sabbath, and observe the first day of the week, civil authorities were at liberty to put them to death. Men will be asked to renounce the Sabbath and to subscribe to Sunday observance, or forfeit their freedom and their lives. As it is now, safeguards in the Constitution prevents the death penalty described in verse 15. But our Constitution has never been closed to amendment. Chapter 13 continues.